Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. Please like and subscribe. So we're going to talk about now what? Now what do we do? We've been doing this rumination. We're still kind of brokenhearted, starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Um, what lies ahead? I had just done a video on this is some important stuff. We kind of manifest our fears. Just like if you were high walking on something, like a edge of a building or a high bridge or something like that, and you start to get scared, you're scared you're going to fall. Well, when you're scared you're going to fall, you might lose your balance, you might pass out, you might get dizzy, might start to have a different depth perception just because you're scared. If you weren't scared or you faced your fears, you wouldn't fall or have a higher likelihood of falling. When we fear abandonment because we were abandoned, um, and it seems like a lot of times, like, where'd this come from? Some of us had the arguments, but we tried to work through them. We were promised that things would get better. All of a sudden it's over. All of a sudden, it, our lives are turned upside down. So we feel abandoned. And be careful not to manifest your fear of being alone. Sometimes we crave getting back into that abusive relationship because we are lonely. There's people around us, but we don't focus on them. We disconnect from them. So that's what the narcissist lives, all these disconnected things. So we're trying to understand, how can they just not have feelings for people? Um, and it's somewhat of a similarity when we're going through this trauma, our sadness, our confusion, our denial, which is part of the stages of grief. We don't really connect with people. They might call us and we're like, yeah, I'll call you later. I just want to cry tonight. And we don't connect, or we maybe don't call them because we're just too wrapped up in ourselves. And that's what's going to either lead to isolation or baggage that's brought forth into a new relationship. Let's say I had a new romantic partner and they want to do something, but I'm still sulking, or I'm putting my fear onto them to where I'm starting to cling on to them too much. Like, you got to make sure that you come home. And if you're not going to come home, and I start sounding desperate, people are attracted to confidence and somebody has their act together. And, you know, um, are we making our beds every day? Are we doing the dishes like we should? Are we kind of sleeping in our clothes? Or I do that though, always have. But those of you who knew that, you should, I don't know. It's my secret. I do keep up on things. But it's a struggle sometimes. And it was even worse before, where, my brain is so disorganized that my house was disorganized. So right now, look around. What's your house look like? That's what you're feeling inside. Unless you're more of possibly OCD, obsessive compulsive, or um to where you're really irritated if things are disarray. But on average, look around your house. That's what you're feeling. Look at what your car looks like. Sometimes we might hyper focus on, I'm going to clean the kitchen, but we forget about the bathrooms, and we just don't care. We don't want people over. So what's the big deal? What's your fridge look like? Are things just shoved in? When I get irritated, I just dig through things. I don't want to take the time to go through things. And that's when I'm like stirred up inside. So that's what we're feeling. And we don't want to bring that into a new relationship. We want to get whole again. And you can start by the little things like cleaning your house, washing your car, or cleaning the inside of it out, arranging the books on your bookshelf, getting rid of the extra clutter. You'll feel calmer with less clutter. Even little knickknacks and stuff. Some knickknacks are good if they remind you of somebody gave it to you, like grandma or grandpa. You know, uh, Decluttering our lives will help us heal as well. Have a consistent schedule. Doesn't mean you have to go to the movies every Friday, but maybe every Friday is social time. or exercise time. Try to get into a pattern. That'll help as well. But when we're in these relationships with a narcissist, they pulled the rug out from under us. And, we would have hoped, we kind of relied on our partner, helping us through the bad times because we've helped them. And in a sense, we're starting to feel a little entitlement. That's what the narcissist goes through. That's why they talk about this. A narcissist turns us into narcissists sometimes, where we're questioning, are we the narcissist? And that's where it comes back to, who's the abuser? Who's the victim? Narcissists lie, they confuse, and we're reacting to this unsettledness. If they were honest, it would have never started in the first place. We're not trying to abuse them. We're not trying to put one over on them. Nobody's perfect. Sometimes, maybe you have, done something that you shouldn't have, but the narcissist uses it continually, and they don't want to change. And we think they do because they keep promising us things. And if you even said, who knows, let's say it was like a religious thing, like maybe we should go to church more often, and then they'll start saying, some Bible verses to you, and they don't even know what they mean. They're just using those as tools. Thou shalt love thy neighbor, and so they're using it to get you to do something, or to forgive them, or to overlook things, as opposed to the spiritual journey that they're on. It's manipulation. And that's where the toxicity comes in. Is narcissists are unpredictable. The only thing that's predictable is that they're unpredictable. You can count on it. It's always going to be a rocky road. It's never going to get back to what it was. And that's just like, as an analogy, a drug addict, where they're seeking this high that's higher than the last one. And they can never achieve that. They can never get back to or higher than they were. And they just crave it. So they're taking in more toxins, trying to achieve or overachieve that high that they got, that they're craving, that they're like, wow. So anything less than that keeps them craving more. Did you hear that? Anything less than that extreme high that they had. I don't do drugs, so I don't really know, but supposedly it's supposed to be like that first high, is I guess like the best. Comment below if you know someone. You don't have to comment on yourself, or you can comment on yourself as far as the high is supposed to be like the best, and people are trying to get higher than that because they want to at least get here, but they can't. So they're taking in more toxins, trying to achieve it. They're believing that they're going to do it this time. All they have to do is double dose, triple dose, whatever. Don't do it because it can be deadly. But they're doing it to achieve something that's unachievable. So when we're pouring all these extra toxins into the relationship, it's never going to get to what we crave. So what do? We don't go, screw it. It's toxic. It's not healthy. It's never going to be what I want anyway. So I'm going to quit drugs. I'm going to quit the relationship. I'm going to be in a healthy relationship. Because that's what we truly crave. They talk about this mirroring, how we fell in love with ourselves. And it's a deep concept. And the more you research it, the more it makes sense. That the narcissist is like a chameleon. And if you've watched them, they are different in different situations. And that can be hurtful to you. Like in certain situations, maybe you're just their girl, who knows, your coworker. This is my coworker. This is my sister's friend. This is my girlfriend. This is my wild lover. You have all these different definitions from the narcissist based on who they're with. So if they're wanting a certain reaction. You know, if all of a sudden now you're a coworker, they're calling you a coworker because there's another coworker that they might be interested in. And you're like, but last weekend you called me your girlfriend or your red hot lover, or it's confusing. It's like, who am I? You know, and we start to feel delusional, like I thought we were in this relationship, or, you know, the narcissist takes away our comfort. You know, if you thought you were in this long-term relationship, now they're calling you a coworker. It hurts. It's confusing. Is it the truth? That time they told the truth if you work together. So narcissists can tell the truth. They just choose which truth to tell. They just choose which truth to tell sometimes. Omission is also toxic. You know, they could introduce you and not say that you're their wife or their husband on purpose because they don't want to shut the doors on any possibilities, or maybe they're working on a promotion and using flirting with that. Everything they do is related to what they can achieve. So if they want their boss to think that they're single and you guys don't work together, they might be more dismissive of you because they're working on something else, a promotion. It's not always about sex, but it's always about self-serving things. And it can hurt us in the long run. And when we're hurt, we try to talk through our feelings. Narcissists don't want to hear it. Because when we try to say, hey, you know, you call me your coworker or sister's friend, what are we? And they don't want to talk about it. So they use word salad and confusion. And by the end of it, we're apologizing. We're more confused. Now we need to talk about it more. We're trying to get back to something toxic, just like that drug addict. And part of it is our brain goes through that withdrawal, similar to the withdrawal of a cocaine addict. And like I said, I don't do drugs. I don't know exactly what the withdrawal would be, but I hear it's terrible. It can be painful. Some drugs, it can be deadly. Talk to a physician if you guys do that, because your body can go into shock. And there's certain medications. I don't want to get into that because I don't know enough about it, but talk to somebody who does. See how safe it is to go cold turkey. Some things you can do that, some things you can't. Even prescription medications. This is important. Prescription medications. Sometimes it matters if you quit cold turkey. Definitely talk to a doctor before starting or stopping anything. Contraindications or things that crisscross and don't work well together can be toxic. And just like a relationship, can be toxic. And it's hard to understand. Somebody we built a life with has no remorse. They might regret, but they don't have remorse. They don't have the empathy. And they can see through, you know, like our survival modes. Because sometimes if we try to do some of the same things that they do, they see it as us manipulating them, you know, and that's where the intent comes in. You know, if we're really sad, like, well, like, I just need a moment alone. Like, I'm trying to tell you I'm having a hard time. I just need to be alone. So it's kind of, in a sense, dismissive or silent, but we communicated our need. We told them, you know, we kind of tried to make it comfortable. Like, it's not you. I just honestly need some time or to process things. And the narcissist, though, is they use silent treatment or time to figure a way out of a thing that they don't want to do, or to see if something better comes along. And, you know, it's not always about who the person is. So if you're questioning, oh, they're waiting to see if somebody else better than me comes along, maybe a baseball game's better than you. It's not about a person. It's not. And that's why with this new supply, it can be anyone. You know, it's what the supply is, how they don't have to take accountability. How sometimes you could be such a great match, but it falls apart because one little thing bothers them. Whether you know, they're afraid of how their friends are going to see you, you know, how the friends are going to judge you. So if the friends judge you a certain way, the narcissist takes it personally that it's them, because they rely on us for their identity. They rely on us for their identity through that mirroring, and they take it personal what we're about. So when you fell in love with yourself, that was the energy you brought. You were living your life. You were doing this, that whole love bombing thing. You're giving, you're loving. You're missing you. But you gave everything away. I had just recently said that I'm so bankrupt. Like when I was with my narcissist, it was like, you know, the exchange should be, I give, metaphorically, I'll give you $10, give me the $10 back. I give you $10, add $1. So now it's more. So you give me what I gave you back plus something. So here's 12. Maybe I just give 12 back this time. You give 13 this time. I'm doing 14, 15, $16 back. And we're building, as opposed to here's $10. Okay, even if it's just $1 each time. And they're like, oh, here's a couple bucks. Okay, so we're putting more and more and more and more. And we are bankrupt. And we're asking a stingy person to give us our soul back. That money, that giving, that soul, that love. They just want to keep it for themselves. And the sad thing is they just in one ear out the other. Same with the love, in and out, in and out. It's not taken inside and absorbed. So we're giving ourselves to something that's empty. It's just going to blow away in the wind. Everything we give them is just fleeting. It's just gone. So we're wasting our lives for things that aren't worth it. You know, like, would I die for somebody? Yeah, I would. I would. You know, would I give a kidney to somebody? I probably would. But I'm not just gonna, oh, you know, I just want to prove that I'm a giving person. So just, you know, I'm telling you, I don't mind if you take my kidney. So I'm not going to let you just take my kidney to stick it on a table and let it waste or throw it away. Like I'm not needing to prove myself that much. I'm going to take a kidney out and say, see, I would have donated, and then just throw it away. But that's what it's like with a narcissist. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the money. Thanks for the taking me to work. And there's no purpose in our giving anymore. It's just us trying to prove a point. I love you. We're trying to prove that point. I'm always here for you. But just like that kidney on the table, I sacrificed too much for something that didn't deserve it, to prove something. It makes sense when it has a purpose. Yeah, I'll give you a kidney to save someone's life. That's where sacrifice. I don't need to prove myself. Especially at the detriment, it's a risk of life, going under surgery, going through a broken heart can have detrimental effects on our lives, on our health. So we need to clear up all this baggage. What do you guys want? You want Louis Vuitton, Michael Kors, just a nice leather satchel? Or if you guys don't like leather, I don't know, what would be sturdy? Canvas? I don't know. But rebuild, and have that baggage shipped off somewhere else. Have it disappear into the night. So as you go to sleep tonight, mentally pack up all this baggage, make it beautiful in your mind, and send it off somewhere. And wake up feeling that you can get rid of that baggage. And you're on a whole beautiful new journey. So instead of holding on to crappy baggage that we got in these narcissistic relationships, rebuild with what you really want. Fill this whole new suitcase with love and people who care about you and hopes and dreams and faith and trust. So be aware of the red flags. Keep studying on that. I need to do another video. I've done several, but I'd like some interaction with you guys. If you could, post some of the red flags that you saw. Because sometimes they're subtle and we overlook them. They're subtle. You know, I talked about that professional development where that one teacher said to the other, it comes easy for you. You're creative. So she took away all his hard work because she didn't want to word it, I'm jealous of you. I wish I was as creative as you. So she gave him no credit and it ate him up inside. It was very dismissive to his work and little things like that. We have to be aware of red flags like that. But we also have to remember, not everybody is a narcissist. Everybody has narcissism in them. It's a survival technique. It's I need to do it. I can't remember exactly how many different types of narcissism. Sometimes there's like that time saving narcissism where you say a lie where you're like, hey Cynthia, how you doing today? I'm doing good, I'll see you later. And I just go off and cry. I'm not doing good, but I don't want to explain things right now. I need time alone. But if I stop and I'm on edge and I'm like, for one thing, do you have the time to even talk to me? Are you going to? Do you care deep enough for me to open up and say what's really going on? And if, you know, I am needing to process things in that moment on my own, and you're asking me, and this is the thing, like, it is okay to be alone for a little bit of time. We have to process even what we're telling people we're sad about. Because in these relationships, you're like, am I sad that he's gone? Am I sad that I accepted the abuse? Am I sad that, like, we have to think through it sometimes. It's okay to tell people, I need time alone. What's not okay is the ghosting, the stonewalling. Gray rocking is when you go with no effect, where you're like, okay, all right, you don't want to pick the kids up. Okay, you're going to be late. Well, if you can get here before 7 p.m., you can have the kids. If not, the court order says to wait an hour. I'll have to move on and continue with plans without you, with the, you know, just low effect, as opposed to, I'm not arguing with this person. And utilize the courts. The courts are there to help in some way. But stay true to yourself. If you don't feel safe, involve the police. They can be peacekeepers, exchange areas where you can go to exchange the kids. But moving forward, don't manifest your fears. You know, if you start feeling, I'm just going to end up some fat, lazy person on the couch, that's what's just going to come of me. You're going to start to get depressed. You're going to start to overeat. And it's, you know, it's going to put some weight on your body. You're going to struggle a little bit with moving around. So now you're going to be a little lazier. And it's self-fulfilling prophecy. But if you feel good about yourself, your weight balance is out. You are more active. People are drawn to your energy. It's weird how we can self-sabotage. So we have to, that Chinese proverb, oh, your thoughts are your words are your actions become your destiny. And I think I missed one. Your thoughts are your words become your actions your actions become, I'll have to look it up again. Actions become your destiny. So I might have said the whole thing. I did a video on it, but our thoughts do make us react a certain way. Have you guys ever done that? I know when I'm gonna not do something. I'm driving there, I need to do it. I'm like, don't do it. You're gonna I had like where I could work when I wanted to. And I'm like, no, no. I drive there and I'm like, I really don't want to do this, because I put that seed of doubt, and I knew what I was gonna do. I should have just either changed my mindset, like, no, you are gonna do this, and move forward, and kept that commitment. The commitment was to myself. It wasn't to anybody else, but I failed myself. I let being sad affect my ability to work sometimes. That's a part of the reason I created like, I'm very good at creating my own businesses, because it was a struggle. I cried so much, and it was almost like you couldn't function. You were so sad. I got tired of crying at a regular job where I'm like, I just need to cry sometimes. And we got to figure out what our triggers are. And in the beginning, our triggers are like from that cocaine withdrawal, that relationship withdrawal, were off. So that withdrawal thing can be very extreme, but you got to get through it. And that's when you're going to start living again. So don't manifest your fears, face your fears. My fear of whatever it is, my fear is being, let's say, alone or abandoned. Then find somebody who's going to be good to you, but don't latch on. Believe that a good person will stay with you. And that's when you're going to be good back to them. If you fear losing control of a healthy weight, believe in yourself that you can exercise self-control or restraint. Maybe set up a schedule of what you're going to eat, meal plan. There's ways to change your thoughts into your actions and change your destiny. So I hope that helps. One-on-ones are available. Topic requests are always welcome. And you guys know, comment below if you know why I'm doing this. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day. Bye.